The tool is incredible. Just like the internet, like the Google search engine, what AI does today, organizing even our thoughts, verifying our knowledge or plans, it's truly a mega brain. However, it dulls our mind. It dulls our brain, so I think we need to use both. The fact that you have a comfortable car doesn't exempt you from going for a walk every other day, or riding your bike somewhere once a week, or going to the pool. So it's a fantastic tool that will do a lot. But let's not become a tool or an object, a subject. Let's not become an object subordinated to AI. I don't see any major threat, but I wouldn't want to lose control. I've tested this tool. It works well. And I also think that humans are still more intelligent, cleverer, and faster. The real energy, the real message, still comes from people. But AI does a fantastic job of organizing many thoughts and messages, generating lots of ideas and offering suggestions. So it's like a second conscience, a technological one. I believe it is a matter of conscience that one should know how to use. The complexity of the human mind. It is a highly unpredictable instrument. It's not just the mind, not just analytics, but also emotions. These are the two modes of thinking that Kahneman talks about. One is fast and intuitive, and the other is slower and more analytical. I think minds. We have similar ones, but we use our minds differently. Not all of us are aware of their potential. We probably also have our minds trained to different degrees, like muscles. One organism is more efficient because it has worked for that efficiency, and is the same with the mind, both physically and intellectually. If you're really brain dead, you don't read, you don't develop yourself, you're not curious about the world, then you become sluggish, intellectually speaking. But I think the mind is like a muscle that should actually be exercised. And just as you can be physically fit at 80 years old, it's the same. I think that the brain can stay sharp until death, but you can also become a bit of a zombie while still alive if you just give up. It's like turning off the processing power or unplugging a computer. It just won't work. So I need emotions, I definitely need sugar, I need various biochemical components, but there's also a fantastic asset that I remember as an entrepreneur. I didn't use it because I treated myself as a money-making machine, not as a human being meant to live and think. I would combine these functions. I understand concentration as awareness. Today, I believe we don't have to concentrate on not getting killed like people did 1,000 years ago, somewhere out there in the forest, in a cave, or on the savannah. Of course, if someone is driving a car, motorcycle, or bicycle too fast, they have to be very focused. But I think that kind of concentration is exhausting. I would learn how to switch off that mode. I would learn calmness. I would learn how to breathe. I would learn to focus on looking, like what I do when I'm on a boat, for example, looking at the water. The greatest concentration comes when there is no concentration. Paradoxically, so it's about calming down, meditation, peace, so that when you need to make the right move, you can do it. In business, that's a decision. It's not even about a phone call, or a notary, or big contracts. It's about having the concentration to know, in that calm, how many times a day to say no, and how many times to say yes. And the accumulated result of the right yeses and the right nos leads to some kind of success. After years, but I think that in chaos you won't have the concentration needed for a good decision. I think that as a human being in a physical, animal sense, it definitely weakens me. Certainly people raised in difficult conditions, and you can see this in sports, for example, a tougher home, a tougher coach, a tougher environment, tougher training. Take fighters in various martial arts, for instance. They usually weren't people who came from warm, comfortable homes where they had everything. Not a well-provided, polite school and an orderly life, but rather kids from tough neighborhoods who simply had to fight. Their drive to fight for a better tomorrow didn't come from a coach who bought them better shoes, but from the street, which gave them a beating. And now, if technology is supposed to do everything for you, meaning you can use your thumb to get a job, get a loan, buy an apartment, buy a car, buy food, find a partner, leave a partner, well, I don't know. I don't know how much of a human will be left in a person if, instead of your whole body and the spectrum of things that affect you throughout your life, the world you surround yourself with is reduced to just your thumb and a smartphone screen. I think you'll end up weaker and dumber. However, if you treat it, again, as a tool for communication, development, earning, spending, and self-fulfillment, then yes. But the line is thin. We will definitely all be closer together. Distance will definitely stop mattering. I think that communication in time, or moving through time, teleportation, that's exactly what it is. We connect our screens and have the same conversation from a distance of 20,000 kilometers. Why fly by plane, right, for 2 days, just to record this kind of conversation, to do business, or even to buy real estate on the other side of the world? Today, all it takes is a swipe of your thumb, so things will definitely speed up. Decision-making will speed up, life will speed up, and that's a good thing. Because that's the convenience we've been fighting for all along. As long as we don't lose our minds completely. And that's something I really worry about, as a guy raised in normal circumstances. In nature, without smartphones, looking at kids today, I just hope we don't end up living our whole lives inside a phone. Because that would be a disaster. If the phone makes our lives easier, the way we want, where we want, for the price we want, that's great. But if your whole life takes place inside your phone, I think you'll die without ever having truly lived.